Hello, in this video I'll be teaching you some basics of Express.js. We will begin with installation and setup, then we will create some routes and middlewares to handle our HTTP requests. Then we will create views in a template engine, and we will be using EJS for templates, and we will create forms and inputs in our views to handle data, and at last we will create model based on our views to send data to server and retrieve it accordingly. So let's begin. Before starting with Express, we need NodeJS installed on our system. We can download it from nodejs.org, and you can download it from here and install it on your machine. I have already installed, so I'm not gonna do this. So another thing I'm gonna use is a code editor. I'll be using Visual Studio Code, and you can use any other you like, so like Sublime Text or Notepad++. First you have to create a folder. I have created a folder named Simple Student App, and then open it with your code editor. So I'll be using git bash as our command line command prompt, and you can download git bash from git-scm.com. and you can download it from here and install it. I have integrated git bash with my code editor. You can do this by going to file preferences and going to settings, and then adding terminal.integrated.shell windows and passing it the file path of .exe file in its installation folder. So first we have to create a package.json file. We will create this by typing npm init. It will ask us some basic questions like application name, version, and its description. I will keep simple student app. Version is good for me. I'll type this is simple app. So I will name it app.js. You can type your name here, and it will ask to verify the data we have provided. So it has created a package.json file. Now we're gonna need some dependencies like Express. We will, as this is basic Express application, so we will install our Express dependency. We will need body parser to parse body and JSON, so we will need body parser also. So let's install this. npm install Express and body parser, and in last --save to add these two to our dependency list in our package.json file. It will take 10 to 20 seconds to install this. So packages are installed. You can see a node module folder here, and dependencies are added also to our package.json file. So for now we have to create our entry point. We have mentioned here its name app.js. We will create a not inside this. Here we have to create a new file, app.js. Here we will need some dependencies we will be working on. First we will require Express, so we will bring it in. next thing we're gonna need is body parser. And another thing we need is path. We haven't installed path explicitly like we installed Express and body parser, because path comes with NodeJS installation and its core node module. We use path to handle our file paths. Let's initialize our application. Create a variable named app equals Express. We will initialize it with the Express, as this is an Express application. It's still not in working position because we haven't listened to a server yet. Now we're gonna create a port and listen it to port and listen on it. We'll do this by app dot use port, and we will get port from process.environment.port, and if we fail to get port, then alternatively it's gonna use 3000. Now listen to this port, and it's gonna take a callback function, take an error argument. If error occurs, then error, and if there is no error, then log the message. Server is listening on port. Let's test it. We'll do this by typing node app. Oh, it's giving us error. Oh, I have made a mistake. It's not app.use, it's app.set. Let's save it and rerun our server. Node app, and here it says server is listening on 3000. Let's check it out. Localhost 3000, and it says cannot get slash. It gives us this message because we haven't set routes yet, so we'll need to set routes now. We'll create a route folder for our routes, and we'll create a file named student.js for our student routes. What we'll need here is Express, and we're gonna need a router, and then we will set a route for our home page. Router dot get, if get request is made on home, then we will create a function. It will take a request and response object, and here we're gonna do is if get request for home is made, we're gonna response by sending simple hello from Express, and to use this we have to export it. Module.exports equals to router, and here in app.js we have to require it routes slash student, and here we will set middleware for routes, app.use student. Middlewares are basically functions that have access to request and response object to handle a request from server. Like here we have taken a GET request and we are responding by sending hello from Express. Let's test it out. We have to restart our server. Node app, and let's refresh this, and it says hello from Express. Now we're gonna add some middleware for our body parser. We'll do this by typing app.use body parser, and we're gonna parse JSON. Another body parser, middleware, URL encoded, and it's gonna take an object extended false, and we will set another middleware for our static public folder. Public folder is a folder where public file resides, like CSS, JavaScript, and some other files like images which we need publicly in our application. So we're going to do this by typing app.use and express.static path.join. We'll join directory name with our public folder. Direct __ directory name basically refers to the current directory we are working in. We don't have to explicitly type the whole URL like username /folder/folder and then this. We just type directory name and it will bring it here and join it with this folder. So create a public folder here, and to test it I will create index.html file and let's test this app. We have to restart server. Actually, we don't have to restart our server again because this really sucks. I'm gonna add another utility like npm install node-mon-g because we have to install it globally. We don't need this only for this application. We need this for all applications we're gonna create using Node. So I have already installed, so you install, and we can use this by typing node-mon app. And its server is running, and it says hello HTML file. Here we are sending hello from Express, but it displaying us HTML file because any file named index in public folder replaces what's coming from send response from routes. So we don't need index file because we're gonna set routes and handle routes from our server. So I'm deleting this. Till now I have sent it only strings in response. We can also send JSON, like I will create a student object, name is equal to name, and course is equal to course, and here we're gonna pass response dot JSON, and we will send student. And here down you can see that whenever we make a change, server automatically restarts. We don't have to type command to restart server again and again. So let's refresh this, and here you can see that it's sending JSON data. We can also send JSON object like array, and this is name 2 and course 2, and let's check it out. Here you can see it's sending JSON data. When we need to build API, we need JSON data, so it's really handy. For now we don't need this. I'm deleting this. I'll go with response.string for now. Now it's time to create our views using template engines. So we are using EJS, embedded JavaScript. So first we have to install it. I'm going to create another terminal window and type npm install EJS -- save. EJS is installed, so we have to acquire EJS. And we will have to set a middleware for our view engine. EJS and another middleware app.set views and we are setting a folder path for our view engine, and it gives us error. Oh, I have made a mistake. We don't need use, we will use app.set, and we will create a view folder. Inside views I'm gonna create a view named student.ejs. To check it, I will type student template, and in order to make this work we have to render the template. Let's check it out. And student templates, it's working. Now we will create our models, and for this we need in a separate folder named models. Inside this we will create a file student.js as student model, and in order to create models we need a database and an ORM to interact with our database. We will be using MongooseJS, and before using Mongoose we have to install this. We'll install by typing npm install mongoose save. It will install Mongoose and save it to our package.json file as dependency. Now Mongoose is installed, and we're gonna need, so we will require it. We're gonna connect to database mongoose.connect, and we'll pass path MongoDB localhost and our database name. I will name it simple student app. Now create a DB connection. DB is equal to mongoose.connection. Now we have to create a schema for our for our data, we will create this by variable schema is equal to mongoose dot schema first we need a name, its type is string. Another we need is course, and it's also of type string. We need to export this schema because we need this in routes file also, so we will create a student module dot exports mongoose dot model, and we will pass student and we'll pass schema. Now we're gonna create a function for inserting records to database, or in this case we will insert document because MongoDB is a document based data store. So we'll type by module dot exports dot create student, and it's a function which will take a new student and callback. And in here we will type new student dot save, and we will pass callback here. We will be using this in our routes. Another we need is module dot exports dot fetch students function callback, and student dot find, and we need everything in our database in our callback. Now our model is all set. All we have to do now is to use this in here. So where our data is coming? Our data is coming from here. I have to read on our server NodeMon app, and I will refresh this. Why it's not running? Oh, let's create a template for our student. So we will create a simple template. In here we need a div, and we'll assign it a class. In here we'll create form to send data. Method will be post, and action is slash. In here we'll create another div and assign it class form group, variable name, and then input type is equal to text, name is equal to name, placeholder is equal to type your name, and class is equal to home dash control. These are basic bootstrap classes, so I'll copy this and paste it here, change it to course, course name, and we need a submit value submit, and class is equal to btn dash primary. So our view is all set. What we're gonna do now is set route for post method. We'll come to our route folder, router dot post and if it's coming from here, perform a function which will take a request and response object. So now first we have to take name and course which will be sent from the post request. So we will get it by typing variable name request dot body dot name, and course is equal to request dot body dot course. Now here we have to import our model. So we're gonna create an object student, and you're gonna name it new student, and its name is name, and course will be course. So now we will call the function we have wrote here, like to create student. I'll copy name from here and student dot create student, and it takes, here you can see it takes two arguments, a new student and a callback function. So I'm gonna pass the new student and function which will take error and data. I'll check for errors. If error occurs, throw error. Else, or simply console.log record edit. It's giving us some error. Let's check it out. String is not defined. Here it says, yeah, it's capital S. And service running, you can check it now, and it's name and course. So let's add some bootstrap classes to our public folder. I'll open my folder and public folder, and I have downloaded CSS and JavaScript of Bootstrap, and I have copied this here, and you can see public, it's CSS Bootstrap files which we have to add here. Link h css slash bootstrap dot min dot js, and relation is style sheet. Copy this, and now it's NodeJS, it's CSS, and it's styles.css. Save it and check it, and here you can see Bootstrap is added. So let's check if it's sending data. We'll type name and simple web app course. it will not send data because we haven't started MongoDB yet. So for this we will have to go to here, and MongoDB. We have to start MongoDB because we are using local installation of MongoDB, so we have to start daemon first. And then we'll come here, restart our server. Sorry, it's running. I'll type cyber and mean and submit it. So here you can see record edit. So record is added in database, but how you'll know that record is added? We have to show our record. So for showing record, I will add another div and table, a row, first let's remove this and use this function to fetch records. Student dot fetch students, and we're gonna pass a function which will take error and it will take a students, and after fetching we'll check for errors. If error occurs, we will throw errors, and if not, then we're gonna render our student view, and we will also send data we have received in students. So in our view we have to add our, now we're going to use EJS for, we are sending a student object here like students, so we will loop through it. Students dot for each and function, and student, each student in the students array. Let's close this. type it here. For each student we're gonna create a TD we'll be using equal to student dot name and I'll copy and paste it and change this to quotes. So this is all set, I think. Let's check it out. It gives us error for students, that students is not defined, because to use students as variable in our view we have to make it global. For globally accessible variables we have to add we're going to use app.use and function which will take your request, your response and next. And in here we'll take response dot locals dot students is equal to null and we'll call next. Our server is running. I'll check it again. For each of null, I think there is an error. We'll type if students not equal to undefined and close this. I think let's change this to this and add a bracket here. Save it and let's test it. It's still giving an error. Simple. And here you can see it's displaying the records. It's inserting also and it's displaying here. So let's take this out and this and it has inserted another. Let's look better now. So what if we want to delete the record? So we will create td and you'll need an anchor tag delete and we'll pass slash underscore id. So handle this in routes, we have to create another route. I'm gonna copy this. If app.get receives an ID, then what should it do? We haven't created a function to delete object, so we will create first module dot exports dot delete student, which is equal to function, and it will take an ID and callback. Sorry. And here we're gonna say student dot find by ID and remove, and pass it underscore ID, and then callback. We're gonna use this here. We'll need student dot delete student, and to delete this student you will pass ID we have here, so we're gonna pass ID by request dot params dot ID, and we're gonna perform a function, callback function, which will take an error argument, and you will check for errors. If error occurs, throw error, and in else part we're gonna render the same view. Let's copy this and paste it here. It's running. Let's check it out. And here you can see, let's check it out, delete, and it's deleted. So view results in here, I'll just copy this again and paste it here. In fact, what we are doing is, first we are deleting a record from database, and if there error occurs, then it will throw error and stop the process, and if there is no error, then it will fetch all the students and then redirect it to the student with student data. So let's check it again. Delete another one, so again, and delete all. Now add again, Bob Express.js. So you can see here, but what if we send submit empty records? You can see it's sending empty. So for validations, we're gonna add express validator. For this, we'll stop the server, it's taking some time to stop. So we'll type npm install express validator -- save. It will install. It is installed, so in add.js we'll include it. Validators equals require express validator, and we have to add express validators middleware, so we'll add it here, not here, we're gonna add it here. Express validator middleware, and I have copied this from Express.js documentation. We don't have to make change in this, just copy this from Express.js documentation and paste it here. So in here, for post request, because we are receiving data from post, so we're gonna check the data here. We're gonna add few lines here. Request dot check body, and we'll pass name, and if its name is required dot not empty. We'll also check this for course. We're gonna check for errors. We'll be typing request dot validation errors, and we'll check for errors. If errors, then throw errors. And in else part, we're gonna do all this. So in error, instead of throwing this, we will do what we will do here is simply copy this and paste it here, and here along with students pass errors, and in order to use these errors app.js in our locals, we have to add another response dot locals dot errors equal to null by default if there are no errors. And to check for those errors, before the container or inside container is better, you add a UL and you will assign it class alert and alert dash danger. You will create li, or first check for if errors not equal to undefined if not defined, then we're gonna do, I'll copy this and paste it here, and I'll change this to errors and error, and instead of creating a td, I will create li and we don't need this, and I will change this to error, and I will close the brackets here, and one more this. So let's check it out. We'll run our server, nodemon app, server is running. Unexpected token, I think I have added in. Where it's giving the error. Student.dejs unexpected token. I think it's this. Actually, I am missing this. It's close first, then for each, and then if. Save it and then come here and refresh this. Again, it's getting the same error. I was missing this here, so let's check it out and need this and try to send this empty, and says name is required and course is required. If we send name, then says course is required. If we send course, says name is required, and if we send both, in JS and send, it will send here. So that's all for now.